life itself is a multiplier. This existence is a multiplier. First understand this. Pollination happens automatically and we have more flowers, we have more plants, and through these pollination, through all these things, the seeds gets thrown to different places, new germination, new seeds sprout, new trees are coming up, and this is how the entire existence, it keeps multiplying. Before man came, trees were there. Who planted? Existence planted it. We are only trying to remove it. So likewise, everything is a multiplier. Insects on their own, they multiply at the appropriate time, biologically. All the animals, they have their biological nature, biological urge. So is the case with your child and with my child. As they keep growing, the hormonal changes, it changes. It changed for you, it changed for me. It will change for the children also. Especially at least in the girl child, we know at a particular age, the child attains puberty. So there is a biological change which is very visible, and then we tell the child, Kanna, now that this particular biological change has happened to you, how you should conduct yourself, how you should behave, what is that do's, what are those don'ts, how you should move. These changes are happening, and mother are little more friendly and they converse little more openly with the girl child. But in the case of a boy, there is no particular symptom like that. And this boy is going through certain hormonal changes. And he is going through a certain emotional feeling. And for the first time he feels, something is happening to his private organ. He wants to go and discuss with somebody, but whom will he discuss with? If the father is a very friendly father, then he will discuss, Appa, why such a thought is coming to me? Why is such a thing is happening to me? Oh, then I as a father, I will tell the child, Kanna, it's quite natural. It's quite natural. Once you come to this particular age, these biological changes will happen, Kanna. There's nothing wrong about it. It's absolutely okay. But just you have to ensure that you don't abuse it. You don't misuse it. You don't get more perverted or, in those particular thoughts. Because the moment the hormonal changes comes into the body of a boy or a girl, it is a design and the decision of the existence that right now you become eligible to multiply. That is a decision of the existence. Why we had early marriages? When some of our grandmother and grandfathers, they got married when they were 15, 16, not even knowing what exactly life is. Why? Because they realized in that particular age, life is a multiplier, and life has decided that this person should multiply, this person should multiply. Now who are we to truncate it? So that's when early marriages were practiced in those days. But now practically it is not possible. Even though it is practically not possible, how will I tell my daughter, how will I tell my son? Kanna, these urges will be there. You will get automatically attracted towards the opposite sex. But how is that you have to restrain? What is that you have to do? Do we have an answer for that? If there is one solution which can solve so many things for our children, is that touch. When we touch them long enough, they know, oh, this is the right touch. And when someone else in the world outside, when they try to touch with the wrong intention, they will know, Appa hug pandrathu vera, இந்த uncle hug பண்றது வேற மாதிரி இருக்கே. Oh, they will know the difference between right touch and wrong touch only when you continue to give them the right touch. If they don't know what right touch is all about, how will they know what a wrong touch is? And when there is no right touch, they are already starved, love starved. Touch starvation leads to? Love starvation. Touch starvation leads to? Love starvation. So when there is touch starvation, there is love starvation. Whomever in that moment they touch. So they'll wonder, such an educated girl, so brilliant, how did she run away with a driver here? Touch starvation. She was telling, Amma, I'm hungry. And you say, see, Amma has bought gold for you. Amma, I'm hungry. See, this amazing, embroidered sari I bought for you. Amma, I'm hungry. See, this diamond necklace I bought for you. Amma, I'm hungry. See what all these assets Appa has bought for you. Amma, I'm hungry. And you are giving everything else other than the food that the child wants. So when every time the child is telling, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, Your expression of love was, I should buy this, I should give this, I should do this, but never ever you ever thought, my expression of love is, I should also give this touch to my child. So when someone else was willing to give the touch to the child is willing to give away everything, because that touch was far, far, far more powerful and greater than all this gold and diamond and properties. And then we are wondering, how did she go? You sent her away. She did not go. You sent her away. So if there is one holistic solution, my son is not listening to me, my daughter is back answering me, adu koduthu paarungle. When I continue to hug my child and when I continue to kiss my child on the forehead long enough, a lot of happy hormones. See the miracles that happen in your family. In US, there is one horse. That horse gets into the hospital and that horse will choose which room to enter, and that horse will lick the person who's there in that particular hospital bed for whom there is no attender. And how much they cry out of that touch, horse. By feeling the lick of the horse, that happy hormones they secrete. When you secrete happy hormones, diseases vanishes. Vai vittu sirital, noi vittu pogum. Why? Happiness. When there is happiness, how can disease enter? No way. No way. Where there is love and happiness, no way disease can enter. And that's what happens. And they feel so great when that horse is licking that person. No attender for that guy. Very rich, very wealthy. Horse has to come and touch and lick that guy for that guy to have tears of happiness. Look at that.